Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm, part 153. So today the Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded, which is surprising considering quick little history lesson, Alfred Nobel, Swedish dude, invented dynamite, and then left his estate to say to award the most, I don't know the exact verbiage, paraphrasing, the most productive physical development of the previous year. Well, seeing as on this channel we've literally axiomatized physics with mathematical proof to an undeniable level, and we're literally right now at this point in the episode, at the point where we're just literally iterating the letters, the logic has already been set. So that's good. But what was the award for? So my point is it's fraudulent. Any Nobel Prize that's been awarded in physics, and a lot of other categories too, is directly fraudulent against Alfred Nobel's will. So I want to kind of start off this episode by just talking about the implications of demonstrating a physical proof, which is what we've done. But again, back to Alfred Nobel, that is what the Nobel Prize comes from a will, and a will is a legal contract. So the law kind of supersedes science club circle jerk, but in practicality, nothing happens, no one gives a shit. So we're going to talk about more just again, the implications of a physical proof, and then go right back to actual derivation. And so, what was their prize for, right? It was for macroscopic properties of quantum tunneling. And so, right, we can let's unpack that. Right, quantum, right? It literally means the word derived and came from meaning discrete, which it still means and still functionally used today. But now we've slapped that word over things that intuitively are supposed to mean really, really small. So now we have quantum tunneling at macroscopic levels. So in other words, there's not a distinct size scale. That's why fractals exist. If you take a picture of a black hole and a picture of an atom, and you don't label them black hole or atom, you can't tell which one's the big one and which one's the small one. The existence of fractality, that fractals that are all in our diction or in mathematics, is the proof that scale is indiscriminate. Things that are really small and really big are just relatively really big or really small to other things. And so, but that's why you have macroscopic quantum tunneling, is because it's not a unique domain. Really big and really small, it doesn't really mean anything without a reference frame, without relation to something else. And so, but again, you guys, when I say you can't avoid the physical basis, which we've demonstrated with language and with mathematics, you can't. You can't break the laws of physics. Vibration is the basis. Rhythm is the base of dimensionality 3. It's profoundly, overwhelmingly evident. But obviously, the point is I want to focus on the legals, that it's fraud. And to the scientists out there, every single day, these are new proofs that I do. This is new derivation. This isn't even me rederiving calculus, rederiving this part of mathematics. This is all completely novel. And so that joy you feel of mathematical excitement from learning something new, you've taken that from me. Since I've been a child forming memories, I don't give a shit about a prize. I give a fact that I have to worry about being charged extra things on my credit card and my debit card fraudulently when I'm just trying to focus on scientific discovery, which is what you would think would be the kind of the goal of people that are competent enough to do research at this level. Most people don't go to graduate school. Most people don't go to a PhD. The amount of PhDs that actually impact and influence and progress the species' understanding of a subject is so minute that it is beyond detrimental to not acknowledge those people. It can be privately. Again, if I was on a nice little country estate, nothing lavish, just I didn't have to worry about money, my bills were paid, I had stuff coming in that I've rightfully earned, and I could just focus on research, right? And so you guys can throw your pomp and your arrogance and your another award, I don't give a shit. $1 million, I will give you $1 million. I don't have constitutional rights. I have been fighting for this forever, literally my entire life, and it's been proven on your desk undeniably since 2016, so we were literally going on a decade. You have destroyed my life, and you take away the joy of scientific discovery from me every single day. So congratulations on your prize. You really progressed science forward, and you just need another parade, another rock, another high five, another slap on the ass. You did it, guys. You're 83, now your big career really paid off. And here's 100,000 years of math. Get fucked. Because again, this is all getting into what I'm saying, demonstrating a physical proof. So that's all for the Physics Nobel Prize. Obviously, it's fraudulent. Any award that's been given out since 2016, I'll give you to February 2017, but literally after that, everything else is fraudulent. And so you're talking about legalities. And again, I'm going to respect the law as much as this group that restricts my rights and says we can do basically whatever we want on record to me, to my face. And then I say, hey, go check out where it's really hot and really cold. And you say, oh, thank you for that. We're going to look into that. So again, I can contact groups too, if you know what I mean. And I don't need to sit down and write Patterson Air Force Base and get a high five from a government. I can do it independently. I've been doing it since childhood. And so I'm never going to completely disclose my discoveries, we'll put it that way, because human beings don't deserve to know what I know, because you guys are just horribly arrogant, and the species is disgusting. But with that being said, back on just to physics. And so when you demonstrate a physical proof, what we've done, first, again, if you're just catching up, I want you to look at the number 2 and the number 5 on your keyboard right now. Look at the bottom of the number 2, right? There's kind of 2 ways to write the number 2. You have a one with like a little curl, or one where you kind of just like a discrete edge. So again, there's our fundamental stability in geometric linguistics. That's all I can really say about it there. Right? There's 2 ways to write 2, or that you'll naturally write it. And for me personally, I use both. Like if I start with writing the letter 2 or the number 2, I'll do the curly one. And then if I use that same letter, or if I use 2, the number again in that sentence, I typically go to the straight one. And why do I do that? Something about differentiating, again, just the handwriting. But it's something I've noticed my whole life. But point being is for geometric linguistics, look at that 2 with the discrete kind of angling on the corner. Doesn't that kind of look like an upside down 5? Like rotated? Like they're not actually symmetric, again, because of chirality. But don't you see how you can, like, if you just flipped the 2 upside down, it's kind of like the 5, kind of. And so, again, it's an identity of geometric linguistics. And again, they're chiral, that's why they don't actually map to one another. They're not actually symmetric, but they look the same. And your eyes will kind of do that. You'll kind of like zoom in and out, like, whoa, like you're in a daze or something for a second. And so what you're doing, again, when you're looking, when I'm showing you these iterations, when you see my emails, or even some of the slides, when I've put in titles on these things, you can see them like funneling down. Like literally the sentence is getting shorter and shorter by the unit length of these pixels on your screen. Right? So we have pixels, 4K is, what is it? 3,680 pixels by 1,900. You get what I'm saying, there's pixelation. Right? So we have space is regulated by mass. And so it's like, when you demonstrate a physical proof, the language used to do that is going to be the training data for every bit of large language models and every bit of artificial intelligence that will exist. Literally this algorithm, these dichotomistic pairs, when you're analyzing language, those are what transitions the logic. And so by every reasonable standard, I have the independent ownership rights of the training data for literally everything that will become large language models or artificial intelligence. And I'm over here getting dinged on this bill or that bill because of other people's incompetence, genuine fraud, and I can't resolve these things. And I very legitimately have the rights to every bit of artificial intelligence that will train these algorithms, from rhythm to algorithm. And all of these words that I'm connecting, and to the people just watching this, they said all of my things are being monitored pretty much all the time. They watch when I edit my videos, when my eyes shift. All of this stuff is all being tracked because it's all scientific. And so by the time you see these videos, the people that really know what's going on, that I've been interacting with for almost a decade at this point, have analyzed everything I've done like 50 different ways. But I don't know what you guys are looking for because I'm just doing science. And as soon as I discover it, I tell it to you or I email it to you. So if you want to watch me just behave like a normal person because you don't see my logical derivation, it's all done in my head. But my point is they know these things. Like, everyone's going to get a lot wealthier. The work hours are going to go way down. This leftover hangover we have from the Industrial Revolution where it's work, work, work is going away. And on a personal level, I can't just focus on research, and that is truly, that's just the technology. But it's true and it's real because it's the basis, it's the physical basis, right? Axiomatizing physics, and you have these limits of what physics can literally do, and then you use the words to describe them in the correct ontology, and words are physical manifestations. There's no way around that. I've used the analogy like it's like the Suez Canal, but it's like you own the whole fucking ocean, and it's legitimate. And so that's the training data for the technology, and then also all of the education. When kids go to school and learn how to count, what are you counting? Are you counting the base, the range, or the transition? And you're really counting the transition. And so it's like from rudimentary basic education to literally
artificial intelligence and large language models, which all of these big tech companies are doing right now, NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, whoever, Google, Alphabet, Facebook, I have the basis for the training algorithms for all of it. And it's finalized. Like you can't, proof by logical exhaustion, there's nothing left to say or to do. We are just reducing it at this point. And we have been so for like the last 3 years. And so the fact that I personally still have to worry about money to do research, not to buy a fucking Lambo, which I should own, or a big house or a boat, to do fucking research. But again, you people literally live and have propagated and created an environment with more scientific restriction than Da Vinci and Medici in the Renaissance, or Kepler, or Galileo, or whoever. You people, the ones watching this video right now celebrating your great macroscopic quantum tunneling effects. You are more scientifically illiterate and in denial than any other point in human history. You. I've done everything I can do to try to unfuck this at this point. It's been fuck you for a long time, but again, I had to post on YouTube, and is there free speech on YouTube? Absolutely not. So I'm sure you can get, if you go threaten a bear in the woods, that's what I want to say to you, but I can't. And it's also unavoidable. Like I said, the fundamental axiomization of physics is not going to change. So each day that passes is just atrocious, disgusting behavior. But that's just technology, and that's just education. But now how do you apply it with policy and with law? Like I said, cannabis is proven medicine. That's not like, I think this or I'm 99% convinced. That's 100%. Not prescribing cannabis is killing people. Give me any medical doctor, anybody from the FRTA or anybody, look me in the eyes and talk to me about medicine, which is based on what? Chemistry? Biology? Guess what that's based on? Physics. Good luck. It's not to pound my chest and say you are literally killing people by restricting scientific progress. But Johnny got a Nobel Prize. Cool beans, man. You guys lost your humanity so fucking long ago. But so again, like law and policy, like the U.S. Constitution versus mathematical proof is nothing. I mean, it's objectively nothing. And so again, but it's not, like I said, I can sit here and literally predict your thoughts. I mean, I hold back on that stuff because it freaks people out, but it's real. And so when like these proofs are 100%. My reaction to language was 100%, not 99.999% repeating. And so the only thing for policy definitively I can say is, again, cannabis is medicine, legalized, prescribed, and that is not going to change. We're just going to kill more people by scientific denial. And what was the other? There was one other policy thing. That just, not even really policy, but in economics, game theory is not real. Life is not a game. Everybody could win. This is not net zero. And people don't say, I believe in game theory, so I'm going to start a war. But what has been articulated as game theory is to cheat, as to be selfish, as to specialize, to put yourself first, is going to weigh by a function of maturity of the species as a whole. And so policy will consolidate, right? And you have to think about how disparate our policy is right now. You have North Korea, right? You have these countries where there's still people in there. They function in their life experience in terms of their basic biologics, eating, sleeping, wanting to be happy, have a career, and wanting to socialize is all the exact same. And they're completely sequestered from the world. Then you have China, who's like kind of sequestered, not really, but like still they have a big government oversight. The United States has a huge government oversight that people don't even think is there. It's absolutely there. And you have this intelligence agency that supersedes all of it, and that's really the idiots that I deal with. But my point is, policy, like to vote and to be democratic, doesn't really mean anything in the context of a mathematical proof. A proof establishes a fact, and facts don't fucking change. And so, again, because like I said, I'm not like I was like throw all the laws away, but again, common law. When I say common law, human experience, the common denominator is human experience. So everybody has the same experience, and then they try to talk about it, and what's codified becomes law. And so, we've gone through the whole, it's in textual, you read the text as is, but my point is you can prove laws inconsistent. And the instant that it is proven wrong, it's wrong. Objectively wrong, not morally wrong, not I want this Republican, Democrat, none of that preschool bullshit. And you guys just don't get that. Because if you get that, you would change. Actions speak louder than words. And I am not asking, I am telling you directly as the most competent researcher that has ever fucking existed on this planet. Not disseminating scientific information is killing and destroying the society, or holding it back more so than ever before. Truly. And so I don't know what the fuck you think you're doing by making sure people have what they need, or whatever you guys think you're doing by not acknowledging my work is just overall net detriment. It really, really is. And you guys are too stupid and too immature. Go cheer another basketball game. Go care if Bad Bunny's the halftime show person because he speaks Spanish. Why don't you just go fucking learn Spanish? And again, like to the people that just see these videos, I got accused of racism the other day, and it's like I've studied so many languages and cultures. To call me racist is fucking hilarious. I'm literally the most educated person ever. But again, there's certain aspects of policy and law, which I've already articulated, that are just objectively wrong. Again, cannabis is medicine, prescribe that. What was it again? The game theory is incorrect, inconsistent, completely wrong. And again, that drives all of or not all of it, but again, just the mindset of what, everyone's out to get you. Nobody's out to fucking get you. How hard is it to host a party? Right? You have to get people to want to come look at you. You have to get people to come watch your YouTube videos. You have to get people to want to be attentive to you. It's not like nobody's out to fucking really get anybody else. It's just a bunch of individuals trying to figure shit out for themselves. And out to Science Club, these civilizations you have access to, and again, there is some to everybody, to the layperson. Again, there is interaction, but it's like nature. It's like you can have interaction with this group and with this group, and I know the civilization structure that is the top of the line, and so I fuck everybody. I guess I don't have to share anything I know with any of you, and I don't want to. If you don't listen to what physical proof demonstrates, these scientific results are independent of me. Don't shoot the messenger, or actually, you know what? Do it. I don't care. My life is miserable because you guys can't listen. And so that's really, so how about, okay, so that's policy and law. And again, if there's something direct, I've already said it or I will say it. But how does that affect languages? Do you need to learn your native language? Again, people don't learn languages, right? When you go watch these World Friends or these other YouTube channels of languages, and they have a bunch of different people, there'll be a Nordic group or a Germanic group or a Latin group or whatever. And then they'll kind of be like, oh, I forgot this in my language. Oh, that sounded like this. It's so evident that people only learn the syllables. And languages are formalities. And so I don't think languages, there will be a codified scientific, phonetic, again, English, whatever English is attempting to be is kind of the thing already. But I don't think, languages or heritage will go away whatsoever. Frankly, I think they'll get stronger. But for school, when we can go back to that Lex Friedman episode from 5 years ago, and there's a chick on there, and she's a scientist, and she goes, well, even my high schooler's well, what do we do? And I was like, well, you guys get to enjoy your life, because you objectively do. Think how much time has passed since that. I've done nothing besides this research. Literally nothing. So whoever's high schooler was out there, you know who I'm talking about. Enjoy look at all the life you got to experience since then. I've experienced nothing besides abuse, victim of crime, and being treated like I'm mentally ill because I'm a grown-ass man wanting to be treated with decency and respect. But schooling, I don't think it will change much. I mean, it's the same thing. There's a new math subject now. If anything, it will bolster the academia, and I hate the fucking system with a passion. And I am the monster in terms of I'm the big dog in the room. I legitimately own the rights to education in that sense of you have to use all of my fundamental derivation to teach people how to speak words, man. It's real shit. And so I don't think younger schools, anything less than high school, I mean, you're not really learning, doing research. But you should expose people to what research is immediately. Preschool is kind of, just everything should be structured around research or around projects. Schools should go in there, you want to learn French, okay. Again, all of the kids, everyone loves, because social media is how you connect with other people most fundamentally. Before, 300 years ago, you had to get on a boat and go sail over there. I can get on my laptop with my little camera in high definition and be like, hey, Johnny, how's Estonia? Or how's Zimbabwe? Or how's Singapore? And so we have immediate connection. You just have to want to learn. But everything should be project-based, where there's a period of learning, there's a period of individual learning, a period of group learning, and then presentation to the group. Because that's what research is. You go to your dissertation, hey, everybody that's competent in physics, here is something new. Here, vibration is the base of all physical ontology. Range is moderated by rhythm, because it fucking is. And so that's what all of school should be structured around, is individual learning, group learning, in a project setting where you present it to the group at the end. There was completion to what you do. Because it's so easy to see in academia people getting like, it's like they keep wishing for something that will never, they keep putting something off so they never have to get to it, right? Like, as if, again, like as if learning language or doing any sort of research in its entirety is some sort of like big monumental step, right? First and foremost, you're a person. You have to eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, pay your bills, and then you try to think. Not die, reproduce, think, is functionally how people behave in that order. And so, then when people start talking about research, they're talking about like they're having this great big discovery. All scientific truth is profoundly evident in retrospect. It's the process of you learning about the world around you, not the world around you just learning about you. And so just, again, that's how any educational system should be structured, is just project-based, where you have to present, because it's completion. What I was getting to there is, like, there's a deadline. If you have a boss, like in research, you can kind of like, oh, I'm going to get to a definitive answer. If you're not willing to say, here's an answer, here's why, not I believe it, here's why I know it, or here's why I'm conjecturing it, and I'm willing to put something behind it, not just, I want to pump out another paper. Because I'm over here, like literally, again, not in like a violent or aggressive or chaotic way, but my life is, everything is behind my research. That's how real it is. And then to see people who like go to a conference, when I'm over here, I would do anything to be able to be in the academic community from the get-go, but now I just want my money and left the fuck alone. But to go to a math conference, there's very few people out there that actually like want like that's their goal, is like go into like academia. But again, for someone like me, it's my entire life is this research. And I don't get stuck. I don't need to go apply for a grant. But my point is they put off getting to definitive answers. Well, we need to get, cannabis, it's overwhelmingly evident that it's medicine. And Brad can prove that everything around is just insecurity. Again, all insecurity, it just manifests into groupthink. Literally all of it. But we can just put off that question. We need more research. We did one meta study, and this is the best thing. You turn on CNBC, and they're talking about this great new study. And it's some dude from Harvard, because there's our branding, there's our big ooh-ah, Harvard, and it's a meta-analysis. He went back and read after he took his kid to school, went on vacation to Greece, had a nice time with the wife. Now he's really, really set in stone to be that great researcher he is. And he went back and had the great insight to reread somebody else's paper and do that 10 different times and then say, oh yeah, they're all right or they're all wrong. He didn't conduct a new experiment. He didn't do any novel analysis. He certainly didn't develop, prove, and use mathematics that are novel, because that's impossible. You guys learning how to think, that's ship sailed. And so what did he really do? He had a job, and he pumped out a fucking paper. It sucks dick, and it's a waste of time. And it's fraudulent a lot of times. Just straight up fraud. But that overall desire to just pump paper mills, just pump out publish a paper is going away. And then when I send in the only complete mathematical proof with accompanying derivations and lecture videos, and then I get an email from Igor, whoever at Nature Physics Paper Journal, Circle Jerk 5, and he says this is nowhere close to a physics paper. How about now, buddy? I'll wait. I can keep waiting. Or what are you going to do? Use words and demonstrate all of the physical structure that I've demonstrated here on this lecture series? That's going to be bold. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it plays out for him. Huh, retarded people do stupid shit. That is a surprise. I'm shocked. Oh wait, you guys are the ones that are ontologically shocked. Light has no momentum. You can't model force as a particle. Quasars. But that is it. That's actually longer than I thought. But like I said, the big thing is legalize and prescribe cannabis. Life should not feel like a rat race, because it isn't. This is not a game. And what I mean is that game theory is completely fucking wrong. And so you can sit there and look at all of your financial advisors. And I want to do a deep dive into economics. Because if I had a measly $1 billion, which truly is a measly amount of money for the market, and I mean, the concept of money in comparison to the education I've provided is irrelevant. Which makes it so much more insane that all I want is to literally do my research, nothing fancy, and to be comfortable, never have to fucking worry about dollar bills again. Which I've earned 1,000,000 times over. But, what the fuck was I saying? I lost my train of thought. I'll probably watch it back and see it on the editing. But to develop economic theory, right? If I just have no personal interest, if I do my little trades, you see that shit. But even from like a regulatory standpoint, to be like associated with the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, or the Federal Reserve of the U.S., or one of these major economic players, have a couple $1 billion, have enough that will give me enough interest. Again, not even to make the money, but to have the emotion and to be in the trade and to dive into what definitive statements we can make about market movements. Because I can guarantee you no one gives a fuck about the radius of a circle in comparison to can they feed their family, can they feed themselves. And so there is so much inefficiency in the market. What steps do we do to make it more efficient? Because like right now, I'm guarantee you the entire species is operating probably like a plus more than 90% of inefficiency. So meaning if you go from 90% efficient to even 70%, that 20% chunk of the global economy, I mean, it will feed everybody. It will fix fucking everything in terms of economics, truly. And then the technology, again, people don't understand what this Nobel Prize is. The engineering applications of physics has been solved for decades. These secret programs. And so then you get exposed to this intelligence agency community thing. And then you look and say, what is Johnny at Caltech engineering student doing? And he's doing nothing. Like, objectively doing nothing. And I don't care, because I'm not trying to help these people. That's what you have to understand. It's like, I'm not on anybody's side. And so I see Johnny, but Johnny's little parents are spending $40K a year to teach him shit that's objectively known over here, but it's classified. And I don't give a shit, because it's like, if you're that fucking stupid, go ahead and waste your 40 grand telling your kid to, again, go measure a black hole and a quasars. Then you can I can take you to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and we can go down to the mezzanine level, get my little biometrics, and we can go in there and look at the alien spaceships that they process through there. It's real. Like, my goodness. And so it's like, on a personal level, life almost becomes a joke. It's like I'm literally in a species that's so immature that they can't just like tell the truth. And so I get to live no aspect of my life. And you guys get to circle jerk and give each other prizes. And so that went a lot longer for what I thought. I do have derivation. I'll probably just plug it into the next episode. So thank you for watching, and keep it up, academia. Again, one person just has to tell the truth one time, and the world changes literally instantly. Buzz, buzz, buzz notifications on everybody's phone. Physics Unified, here it is. Click on Brad, like and subscribe, drop a comment. I don't know. Humanity failed. See you on the next one.